wavy beard.
90s to a T.
Yeah.
If I see champagne, I will call it champagne.
Oh, no, we got so many good episodes to watch.
Oh, wait, I'm getting it. Nope, changed my mind. Boo.
This is funny until you have it.
No, but seriously, wave after wave of men.
In the future, there's an owl problem.
Sorry, but like, his name's huge ass.
Not
So do you listen to our podcast?
I'm sorry, there were whales on the moon.
We carry a harpoon. God damn, I hate that we said that.
Shut up and take my podcast.
Oh, I'm going to remember that one.
Oh, well done you.
Thematic relevance to today. Welcome, everybody, to Shut Up and Take My Podcast, a Futurama podcast that pits episode against episode in a bloody glorious gauntlet for your entertainment. I'm joined here by Phil.
My best is an idiot.
By Ellen.
Look upon my works, you mighty, and despair.
And we've also got Sean.
Planet
Yay.
Express are becoming way too okay with committing genocide.
Yeah, you talking about the explosion at the end?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I think they started out okay with genocide.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever, I don't think they've hit bottom because they
No, they're
started
not hitting
pretty
bottom,
low.
but it's escalating now to entire races of people.
Yeah, but
I feel like they've done that before. Neutrals, poplars.
they were only slaves, right?
That's right. That's right.
Ooh,
They're less than
Yikes.
hot takes on Shut Up and Take My Podcast. We are up to Season 3, Episode 17, A Pharaoh to Remember. Any guesses, any ganders into your minds for what that is?
It's a day to remember, right?
It's an affair to
An
remember.
affair to remember.
Oh.
Yes.
They've also used this reference before in A Flight to
A
Remember.
flight to remember. Are there any more remembers? If they are, we don't remember them. Ha!
Yeah, it didn't work, obviously. There's probably more later down the line, I feel like.
It feels like a bit of like a lazy title, but the titles don't matter very much.
A time
It
to
takes
remember.
a year to make an episode, all right? They
Yeah,
try-
just call it something.
They put their efforts into something else.
It's good that they make the episode, they title it, they've got a year before it airs. At no point do they go, we can come up with something better.
You don't want to change from the first draft? No, it's good.
No.
It's got pharaohs and remembering, which is two of the things that are in this episode.
What
Yeah.
more do you
Perfect.
I
Nothing
feel like there could have been a pun on something.
else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better title right
No.
now, so I'm going to give it to
Yeah,
them.
no, I'm not going to whip out a pun on the fly, but I feel like there could have been more allusions to ancient Egypt. Or...
Well, especially if they used the title before. That's the main thing, I think, for me. It's a bit
Yeah.
lazy.
And the writers all have PhDs in as well. Come on, pick up
Come
your
on.
game.
Come on.
We can blame the director, though, Mark Irvin.
You bastard.
I-
Sorry,
See-
you were listening to this.
I don't know. I thought for a second that was at the segue.
It was. And
you
Phil
were
looked
angry at the segue.
Oh, no.
I just like that Phil, you looked at me with admiration because it was a decent segue.
was good,
this
it was
time.
good.
Yeah. Mark Irvin, who's back from the day the Earth stood stupid, so frying the brains. And this is the note that I wrote down that I have no idea what it means. So the last thing that Mark Irvin did was I think it's a Christian movie called Action Words, Stand of Faith.
Sounds like a Christian movie, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, IMDb doesn't really have, I don't think, a release date or really what it's about or much besides a cast. So
Did you say action words, stand of faith?
Yes.
Is that the title?
Yes.
Yeah, I
And
think...
they didn't want to rethink that
yeah,
one either.
exactly. I think
Another
maybe a
thing.
Pharaoh to Remember gets
Yeah,
a pass now.
Clearly, this director has, a long history of shitty titles.
They probably did give him other alternatives. Like, no.
No, I like this one.
No.
What's wrong with it? Oh, you've
Especially
used it
the
already?
subtitle part. Yeah, just give it a stand of faith. What's a stand of faith?
To be fair, I think
doesn't
this is,
matter.
I don't know.
This is part 1 of 3, so there'll be other bad titles, I believe, in the Action Words trilogy.
There's 3.
I think it's based on books. There's a lot of think going on around here with this thing. So
Oh dear.
This isn't the Christian action movie podcast.
No,
okay?
it's not,
Let's
no.
get back on track.
the
shall we?
writer is Ron Wiener. Back, yes, we laughed last time.
I keep doing it. Yeah, it's
back from
instinct.
Luck of the Friarish.
Well,
Well,
Luck of the Friarish.
it's
overcomes his name.
And here's proof that one can rise through the ranks in Futurama. In Season 2, he was the story editor. In Season 3, he was the executive story editor. And in Season 4, the co-producer.
Did you say that a wiener can rise?
A wiener. Damn it,
That's
Ellen.
why we got you on the podcast. That's kind of snappy humour.
Oh, man.
Oh.
But please continue.
I will.
I'll just keep making dick jokes in to myself if I need
From
to.
dick jokes to air dates, March the 10th, 2002 is when this came about. And Phil, would we like to stop dicking around and talk about the plot?
Yeah, sure. So Bender, we open with Bender has been on a heist of the local pool. And he's very excited it's on TV because he's going to get famous and be remembered. Except he gets completely misidentified, very annoyed. So he seeks out a way to be remembered, tries out a few things. They all fail. Bender licks butts. That happens.
He does. He does.
Coincidentally, they have to go to like an Egypt planet, Osiris 4.
Mm-hmm.
Where Bender, by happenstance, becomes a pharaoh and gets everyone to build a gigantic statue, 1 billion cubits high. He annoys everyone, so they bury him alive in it. That's the plot.
Excellent. As always, what do we think, guys?
It's definitely like a fun ride. I don't know whether it was just watching it with you guys as opposed to watching it by
helps.
myself. Yeah, it did help. Certainly, like a lot of jokes packed. I feel like maybe 60% of them land for me personally.
I'd say more, even more for me. I chuckle a lot.
63,
in this
64.
63. I'd say it's a 75.
Yeah, I'm not
80%
sure
joke landing.
that I like the Egypt premise. Like, the funniest things are probably, like always, like the character reactions and different pop culture references, whereas like the setting for Egypt for me doesn't quite work. There's like lots of
It's a very Star
allusions.
Trekian thing, though, isn't it? It's that
Yeah.
an entire planet is based off a race that happened to be an Earth that was.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just, I think, they're set in Egypt, but all the jokes coming from like Fry's era of pop culture references. I wish that there'd been a lot more allusions to like, you know, ancient Egypt, more jokes about that. There's a few, definitely, but
We gave you hieroglyphics. What do you want?
That's right.
yeah, I did laugh really hard at that one.
The
to be
hieroglyphic
fair.
signature.
I actually thought this episode was one that I was going to hate because, ironically, I didn't remember anything about this episode besides "Remember Me."
Yeah.
That's all I could remember, and I thought this was going to
It's a
be
great visual, though.
pass.
Mm-hmm.
I love this episode.
I think it was really
So
funny.
much.
I thought it was really funny.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's one of those episodes where all the jokes and all the scenes turn to each other. They lead. There's setup and payoff, and Bender's gloriously evil. Like, he's straight up evil.
He's he's pretty bad in this episode
Yeah.
in terms of like Bender throughout the series. Like, this is one of his least. I can't believe they still like after
friends.
everything.
I know, that's why I wrote down
Yeah.
as like, why do they even like
But
Bender
also-
after he does this to them?
Yeah,
They
after all
literally-
these things, they're still like,
Yeah.
we'll still hang around with
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, does he have a free pass because he's their friend, or because he's a robot, or because
He's
they?
6.
Or yeah, like, what is the thinking?
He's not
here?
old enough to know better.
Yeah.
Like, you literally made us carry you on our backs around.
And you called us, was it pigs or dogs? I feel like it-
Pigs, I believe.
yeah,
pigs.
which is like,
And he gives the
pretty
slave
offensive.
master like
Tips.
tips on whipping them.
to be fair, he is right. You should never go from the shoulders, always with the hips.
Always with
Okay,
the
sure. I mean, just because he's correct about it doesn't make it any less nefarious.
Well,
And
he's trying to be nice in his
Yes.
own way.
he gets drunk on power very quickly.
Makes his thoughts about his friends, quote unquote, very clear.
That's
oh,
right.
yeah.
Always. In fact, he's always been very clear about that. And
He's so mean to them after the fake funeral. They spent a lot of money. Coffins aren't cheap.
That's
Bender.
true, actually.
They
Coffins are very pricey.
They went out, spent money on a coffin
It's a
for
nice-
your fake funeral because you're a robot. You're not
It's a
going to
nice
die.
looking. It's a nice
it's
looking
nice,
coffin.
white.
yeah. How much do minibars cost in coffins these days? How much do
That's
you reckon
probably-
that goes for?
It's probably a nice bit of booze in there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he just like shits all over it.
Oh, he doesn't. He's not having a bar of that funeral, is he?
No.
Gotta say, though, idea of like a fake funeral, amazing idea for a self-esteem boost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
long
yeah.
as everyone
I've-
likes you.
Yeah, it
I've
was
been
a
to
great
someone's-
idea. They were on the
someone's
right
30th.
track.
I want one.
yeah.
30th.
Yeah, their 30th birthday party
Not very
was
ambitious, are
a
they?
fake funeral, and I had to give a eulogy. It was good fun.
Wait, you actually did do this?
Yeah,
You've done a fake
Wow.
funeral? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
for someone. Yeah.
Did
It
you
was
go
at the
out?
Crown and Anchor of all places in their band room.
So you didn't go out and get a fake, like, get a coffin for them to lie in
No, we.
while they berate you for not being sad enough. It's like you're waiting for a bus.
They were just sitting in the front row. It wasn't as quite as elaborate
Yeah.
as Bender's funeral.
Aren't you 30?
I'm 31.
Do we? Well, you're
Oh.
long overdue for a fake funeral, my friend.
Well,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I'd be honoured.
might not get a
Actually,
chance.
I would be honoured if someone threw me a fake funeral. It'd be very nice.
Oh, hinting pretty hard.
Come
here.
on, guys.
Okay, you must be over the moon for this episode because fucking hell does Bender have alternate uses?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I wrote those down. So he has skates, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just appear out of his feet. But I
Fun
don't know if you
fact,
know this.
though-
I do.
Oh, sorry, you
I
go.
keep a track of
Bender
Bender's
uses.
uses, yeah.
functions. His head is a spray can for no reason.
No. Does he constantly top himself up like
That's
every
right.
week?
Where does he get that paint? Right, and it's such a simple mural. I hesitate to call it a mural.
Why? Yeah, I was
It
gonna
takes
say
him
that.
all night to do.
Also, if he's got, I know it's like a chisel kind of mural, but if he has spray paint, why didn't he paint himself as opposed to chisel his entire
It
face
wouldn't have
into
fit,
the
I
rock?
Because I feel like as
It's a tablet.
we know how dumb the Pharaoh people are. The Pharaoh people, the quote unquote Egyptians.
The
what are they? The
Osirians?
Osirisians?
Sirens.
Also, Osiris 4, just to jump off, is that I feel like that's the
Osiris
name
is
of a
an-
ship, maybe,
the
from a
Osiris?
sci-fi show?
Maybe
I
rings
don't
a
know.
bell.
Osiris 4 is just pinging in like my pop culture reference thing, but I don't know. Is it? Could it possibly be? Don't want to speculate, but maybe I know they use a lot of kind of ancient places for names in Battlestar Galactica. I don't know.
It probably has Egyptian connotations too, I'm sure. Osiris sounds like like King Osiris, Pharaoh Osiris. I'm not sure. Was it a place?
Oh god.
There you go.
Well, the only thing I'm getting is
Osiris is the god of the underworld. If I'm correct.
Yes, you are sure.
the only thing I'm getting is hits on Futurama itself and the Futurama game. You're wrong.
Cool.
You're wrong.
All right. Well, I'll take that, and I'll cry myself
don't-
to sleep.
Don't get that many. Just FYI.
Don't get that many.
Strike one.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that why?
The real
if you-
reason. The real
why
reason
I'm
James
here?
and Josh left.
Yeah, they actually got too many things wrong.
Yeah. It took them a while, but you know what? Those 3 strikes, they never wash over. They
You
just,
guys don't know this if you're listening, but underneath where we're recording is just like a rancor pit from Star Wars. So if you don't make the grade, you're going down.
Down you go.
Also, one thing I noticed that just came about from you jumping on the podcast is we always laugh at Zoidberg's misfortune. When Zoidberg gets the glass thrown at the back of his head, Ellen, you had a visible look
Aw,
of pain. Like
it
you
sounds
felt
like-
It is
so
quite
bad.
nasty.
He was trying really hard. I love also that his what do you call it? Flaps.
His hump, like his tuna.
Yeah, he has like a pitch, pitch tuna for his song.
He's not a bad singer.
He's
Yeah, he was
going.
alright, actually. I thought so.
Yeah, it would have been beautiful.
So I have a theory about Bender and Zoidberg, right? So Bender hates it. This episode is a really good demonstration of this. So Bender hates everyone and is really horrible to them, and everyone loves him.
Yeah,
Zoidberg is really lovely and nice to everybody,
most of the time.
and everybody hates him.
Yeah.
So they're opposites, complete opposites.
Yeah, so we want them together.
That's
we want
right.
them together in an
They,
episode.
they did team up at the pet show once,
Yeah,
Yes, they did.
that's right.
where Zoidberg was Bender's
that was-
pet.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was glorious for those few minutes. I want to raise in this episode that slaves didn't actually build the pyramids.
Thank you for the historical accuracy.
And it just annoyed me.
I mean, it also doesn't mean that the ancient Egyptians did not have slaves,
No.
but they didn't build the pyramids. That was look at the pyramids now and how well they've lasted.
Yeah,
in the
that's right.
structure.
They were-
It obviously took, people who were versed
Craftsmen.
in, or the architects. Kind of, it needs sound, structure, design, and So I'm glad that we've mentioned that. But also, it does make sense that the Osirans, whatever we're calling them, would not know that because they're just basing it off conceptions of...
They said they visited Earth.
Yeah.
Right? And they also said they learnt space travel from the Egyptians.
and how to make spooky mummies.
That's right. It's the Stargate thing, right? It's almost a Stargate reference.
Yeah. But I mean, with the common misconception that slaves built the pyramids, it would be easy for that to kind of make it into the future and people to still keep assuming that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I have something that's making me go, what? Which is the Elton John reference.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't get it.
Well, I don't. I
get it. Like...
I think it's literally just that. It's just let's put Elton John here
because it's sort of a reference to his role in Diana's funeral. And Candle in the Wind.
Yeah.
Candle in the Wind. It's like the tribute, right? The tribute song. And that's the most famous kind of tribute song ever, I would say, is Candle in the Wind for Diana. And so when they're trying to remember the Pharaoh, they're like, oh, we'll give him a farewell concert. Who does those? Elton John. But it goes on for like...
really long.
Yeah.
I don't think it is even that long overall. It's just everything else in the episode is really snappy and fast-paced. And the 10 seconds they donate to it, you're like, really?
And everything stops for it.
Yeah.
There's no reaction shots of the other people.
No.
It's just Elton takes center stage.
Yeah.
They play on it, though. The joke is that they also get sick of it and chuck him in the hole, right? So you're meant to get sick of it along with them as well. You're like, what are they still going?
Yeah.
What's happening?
It's not a great Elton impersonation
No,
either.
it's really
Sorry,
not.
Billy West, you're really talented, but that wasn't...
It's mostly in the visuals, right? He's got a fancy piano and funny
and the gap
glasses.
tooth.
And the gap tooth. And they're like, we've done it. You get it, right?
And the gag of... What is the pharaoh's name?
Oh, I wrote my
Imhotep or something?
Hementotep.
Hementotep. I don't know if that's a reference to anything, but I kind of made a big audible sigh when I saw this shot because it always pisses me off. When he's being lowered into the pyramid, I get that the sarcophagus is huge because it's really ornate. But then when they lower down his organs in the jars...
Oh, Pharaoh's own.
His heart
They're mason jars.
or any of his organs are about
Gigantic.
half the size of like our characters. And we saw the Pharaoh.
He's tiny.
Tiny and really frail and old. So
That's what
why
he wants.
are the organs
That's
so
what he
big?
wants them to think. He's like, yeah, my heart was massive.
Huge. They inflate it a bit before
But you
they
don't
pop it
want
down.
a big heart.
Why not?
Well,
I mean,
because
us, we don't?
Well,
or?
if you have a heavy heart in the Egyptian law, well, your heart needs to be lighter than a feather when it gets weighed for you to go into the afterlife.
Okay.
And
I'm laying down some Egyptian knowledge here.
Yeah,
I
so-
like this.
Yep, they'll put you on this. This is kind of like the pearly gates, essentially,
Right.
to pass on, or to not go into the bad place, get your heart eaten by a crocodile. They'll put your heart on a scales with a feather, and if your heart is lighter, then you get to pass on.
I feel like no one would pass that test.
No.
Well, look,
Did they rig it a little
It's-
bit for the
yeah.
pharaohs? Yeah, I feel like they maybe did.
just kind of put your finger down.
Whoops.
Whoa!
Oh, look how heavy this... I mean, light this heart is.
Unless like everything you've said is complete bullshit, and I'm buying it. So
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, cool, awesome. That's what everyone else said in ancient Egypt. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm
with that.
I'm jiggy.
Dig. They also having large organs like an oversized heart
Is bad.
Is medically bad.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I
You know,
think
when-
it's just a bit of laziness
Yeah.
in part of the animators, which
Yeah.
is fine. It happens.
I looked up how much a billion cubits equates to.
Well, because a cubit is a finger, isn't
A
it?
cubit is 18 inches.
Oh, I got that.
One
all
cubit
wrong.
is 18 inches. So roughly translated, it's over the distance between the Earth to the Moon.
Wow.
Cool.
No wonder it reaches into space,
Yeah, it's
right?
a fucking big bender.
Yeah,
Wow.
and if you
The,
look at the Earth to Moon distance, like to scale, it's really far.
Also, got to say the turnaround on that.
Well, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
they build it real fast.
because it's still within a generation.
He is a good slave driver.
did he? And this makes the Fry and Leela forgiveness even worse. Did he hold them there for years?
Yeah.
I feel like they get it done overnight, right? It's so fast in the episode.
He is
He's
right.
so
All they
efficient.
had to do was just push themselves a little
That's
harder.
right. That's right.
Man, they're going to have back issues in later life.
I also like the Simpsons Stonecutters solution of, oh, this guy is ruining, like, this leader that we put in place is kind of fucking up the whole system.
It's just
Let's
the
just get
system.
rid of him.
Yeah.
yeah.
And I know that obviously certainly happened in Roman empires, but I don't know that much about ancient Egypt.
It's sort of
like,
just
the
sort of a
rulers.
political intrigue joke, isn't it?
I know that also Cleopatra like banished all of her siblings, so it's probably holds true. For...
I think if you're a tyrannical dictator and you ask people to tear down the billion cubit statue that you just had them built,
To be a bit annoyed.
they're going to offer you.
Oh,
There's a really nice follow-up joke when they mummify him and they throw them down. And Fry gets really scared.
Yes,
because he's not sure
So
whether or not it's Bender who he just saw mummified and thrown down.
Bender-shaped mummy.
Yeah, that's right.
He's
It's
not
really obvious.
sure if it's Bender.
In the next
Could
few
be Flex, though.
very possible. In the next few moments as well, it's actually quite surprising how well Fry picks up on Leela's gambit.
Yeah.
I'm a bit surprised
They're
actually when
very-
she's like, "Hey,
Right?
play along," and he does,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Whoa,
They're
okay,
quite in
Fry."
sync. It's probably because they have something
They've also only
to
got
turn. Well, there's
they've got
probably-
they've got 2 minutes left of the episode,
Yeah.
so they can't
Well,
really.
I mean, but they also like have a universal thing of they're really hating on Bender right now. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
Slavery may have brought them a bit closer together.
Fry has some very astute observations about slavery in this episode. There's some of my favourite jokes, I would
hours
say.
suck.
Yeah.
My favorite Fry moment is just when they're about to go on the ship and Farnsworth comes in and says, "News, everyone! You're going to deliver this giant block," and it just cuts to next to the ship is the giant block, and Fry goes, "Huh? Thought something looked different."
Yeah, that's also a really nice framing joke, isn't it,
Yeah.
as well? Like a visual joke. It's just, I think maybe you can see like part of the grey, maybe bottom of the
Just.
shot, you can just see part of it. There's some different flavours of joke. I think that's what keeps the episode ticking along and fun. There's lots of verbal jokes, character jokes, reference jokes.
Yeah.
Horrible jokes.
Horrible
Yeah,
jokes.
The
just
damned
Cinder
good
being
looking.
terrible.
Yes. He made me put that in.
That to me just tickled me just right.
That's right.
Yeah, you did laugh quite hard at that terrible joke.
My joke.
So I think this episode has something for everyone. Like, I love when Bender opens his chest and like the whole swimming pool comes out. It's
yeah.
so
Kids
absurd.
included.
And
How-
the kid comes out, wee! And then even better is the follow-up joke where he sadly leaves the room by skating along on a floaty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
I have like 2 volume questions in my notes. So at the beginning, when they're listening to the news about the pool heist, Bender says, "Turn me up." And he has like a volume button, but
Yeah, that's great.
the sound's not coming from him. So is the volume for him to hear better?
It's like a
Oh.
hearing aid.
Or does he
Yeah.
have the sound through the TV also
So it's-
play straight to his head as
So
well?
basically,
I
it's
don't
either
know.
hearing aid or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
But then also the volume is how much volume can fit inside Bender because
Yeah,
there's
it's true.
a lot of water comes out. Also, a small child who's like not traumatized at all. He's had
No.
the ride of a lifetime.
Where's his mum? Where's his dad? Where's
come on.
anyone?
The contents of Bender are very loosely handled by the show.
He
and I
always
don't-
had a spare cavity.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Mum's an incredible creator. Like if we assume that she invented Bender, because she invents most of the robots.
Did she do it herself? Did
I don't.
she
Why does
design them
assume
herself?
Mum makes all the robots?
I mean, I know she
Well,
manufactures them.
She wouldn't make them. She wouldn't
Yeah.
get her hands dirty. But
No,
she
well,
designed
I
them.
do like there's the designers as well who are being slave driven to ponder the design of Pharaoh's
Yes!
ass.
I love that gag. And the wonderful gag of 0 days since last incident. Fry nailing it through his hand and then not being able to pick up the one. It's just
He's so blasé about the fact that he's just
Oh.
driven a nail through his hand.
There's one joke that for me, well, it's not a joke, it's just a comment, really like pulls me out. The timing of it is just a bit weird when after Bender is revealed to be the next Pharaoh, Lila just says, "This society is a bunch of idiots." And then hard cut to black for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It's like, really, Lila? Did we need that? I'm pretty sure.
A lot of those jokes are throwaways because it's when they like shove the about to cut to commercial break graphics onto it. So a lot of those jokes are the worst on DVDs because you're completely focused in on
it
that
just
joke.
really sucked the air out kind of thing. And
I
was
noticed
like,
that a lot, actually. When you do a cut to black, it's often where a commercial goes and the joke is a bit meh.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they do it on purpose, like know that they're just going to cut to commercial there and
It's
they
probably
write a
just a
bad
time
joke.
thing.
I don't know.
I think it is because it's usually like a throwaway joke or a cliffhanger, like a bit of both.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, and then you just cut to commercial, you don't even think about that joke. So it's just, let's just put that there.
Yeah, for
sort
sure.
of thing.
It does fall flat.
It's very awkward.
Yeah.
If we're happy, we happy as Larry, or have we got other?
Bender in his Speedos, I think it's worth mentioning. It's worth mentioning.
Oh, yeah. That too. But also, why is Bender mistaken for a
Caucasian man.
We're not grey.
I mean,
I think it's a joke about the inaccuracy of reporting. I'm not sure.
I just like that it's also like a foreshadowing to next episode.
Well, yeah, a blonde Caucasian man is what Bender
turns into.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
that's
okay.
his spirit.
Maybe it is.
Animal. No.
Spirit human.
I love
it's a spirit human.
I love the joke that goes with it, though. The Hermes joke.
Yeah.
Was, I think Amy
it leaves
says
a lot
that
to it doesn't leave much to the imagination.
So it actually kind of does.
Yeah. And I wanted to say pomegranate schnapps. Is it?
Was it pomegranate? I missed that.
Yeah. Is that just an allusion to, since it's all stuff related to death and the afterlife? And this is his whole afterlife kind of party down there. Is that why it's pomegranate schnapps and not any other fruit?
What does pomegranate have
some relevance to
well,
death?
I mean, more in Greek mythology, it's tied to death in that's what Persephone eats in Hades, and
Man,
that's why she has to stay there.
You're throwing out Egyptian mythology, Greek, Roman.
I'm just trying to keep this educational for the kids.
I'm super impressed.
For the fucking kids. I shouldn't have swore.
I would like to. I think no. I mean,
he just
I think
likes pomegranate.
Maybe just likes pomegranate. I want to have pomegranate.
I think it's like an exotic, ancient-sounding fruit, and that's
because it's Middle Eastern.
Yeah,
right.
That for me is probably why they used it. You might be right. They might have associations.
It seemed as a nice it's from that kind of era. It's very not rich, but it is something a bit exotic to the palate. But then also it's got the ties to death and the afterlife. So
we should have it.
A pomegranate schnapps.
Let's make it.
It's very explosive.
Okay.
When they set it on fire, whoomph.
Yeah.
I quite like
that they don't step back from the explosion. It just happens around them.
I was going to say I quite like his tomb. Seems quite fun.
Beautiful.
Casino tomb.
I'll die there.
There's quite. Was there pool table?
You probably will, because I don't think he'd have any food.
Well, that's my
planned.
question. Because he only needs drink.
Yeah, and he's got that.
Oil. He probably needs oil as well. Yeah.
And snakes.
And cigars.
Thousands of snakes.
I can eat snake.
Why'd it have to
I
be
couldn't eat
snakes?
snake.
I kind of wish there was more time for them to
explore it
and have fun in there. But they've already hammered through a lot of
probably
jokes
just the
by that
main
point.
things that Bender holds dearest in
Money
booze,
and booze.
casino, and
booze, gambling, and
people loving him and adoring him.
That's right. Yeah.
all right. Well, let's head on to the ever lovely vote, which is Insane in the Mainframe versus this episode right here.
Who's going to go first?
It's still Insane in the Mainframe. This is a great episode.
Excellent.
Don't get me wrong. I had a lot of fun with it, but it has a couple of the main plot isn't as entertaining as that plot. The escape plot, the descent into madness, is really, really good in that. This feels a bit arbitrary in how they get to Egypt. It feels like they started with, we want to have an Egyptian themed thing with Bender being a pharaoh because that'd be funny, have it as a tyrannical leader, and then they work backwards about how they get him there. and so it doesn't feel quite as coherent.
Yeah.
They have a lot of fun with the jokes, and they land so many of them, and they're great, and I laughed a lot. But the other one, Insane in the Mainframe,
Yeah.
that plot is just tight.
Yeah.
So
all the way through.
I'll go next, and I'll say that I'm voting for Pharaoh to Remember.
Okay.
Ooh.
I didn't think I'd have that because Insane in the Mainframe is one of my favorite Futurama episodes currently, but I tend to disagree. I think Pharaoh to Remember, because you're touching on the themes of Bender has always been about a few things, which is folk singing, and that all ties around wanting to be remembered. His legacy, Bender always has this legacy thing, which is where Egyptian mythology and the idea of gods and power and over the millennia, that is all tied to the theme of remembrance and legacy. So I think it's a nice reflection of Bender and where he is moving forward, especially heading into future episodes too. I laughed nonstop the first time I watched this. And I think like Insane in the Mainframe, it's a great mix between where you've got setup and payoff and all the scenes lead into each other. And also you've got more Scruffy.
Yeah.
There is more
Never
Scruffy.
I've never seen him before.
Yeah. I feel like Scruffy, yes, you have.
Yeah,
seen Bender before.
he has. He totally has. Completely.
And I just had a lot of fun with this episode, and as ridiculous as it is, I like that Bender can continue to be absolutely evil and get away with it.
Yes.
And also it's just nice to give Ellen the tiebreaker and put all that pressure there.
Oh, man. Well, are you going to give me anything, or what's...
We just did.
Where are my bribes?
Oh,
I'm not that invested.
okay.
Sorry.
I'll give you a fake funeral.
Oh, how sweet.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks.
Daddy boy!
But also, I'm going to say Insane in the Mainframe just because I really like the setting a lot better, and I think probably because it's going off One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest that they don't have to think too much about kind of the setting and the kind of overarching way that the story is going to go down, whereas I do feel like Egypt gets a bit squirrely. It's just kind of there, and I don't think they play around in it as much as they do Insane in the Mainframe, mainly also because Egypt, it's giant and a huge civilization and a lot to go through, whereas Robot Asylum, it's very...
Not so giant.
Tight, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
And
the
it's
thing.
the very-
It is tight, and that's why the episode, I think, is so tight, because you've got really strict confines, and you're like, cool, now let's play, now let's have fun. Whereas, maybe it's just me. I was obsessed with ancient Egypt as a kid, and I wish there was more tie-in jokes to the setting.
It's a very simplistic view of ancient Egypt. It's a very pop culture view of ancient Egypt.
Exactly.
As Futuramas want to do.
I think maybe, disagreeing with you, Sean, I don't like Bender being a complete asshole to his only friends and the people who actually remember
It
him.
really pushes it to 11
And
in this
also,
episode.
I find it really hard to be sympathetic for Bender. Oh, no one will remember you. Well, guess what? You don't have to face mortality because you're a robot.
Well,
Okay.
the very first time we saw Bender as well, it was committing suicide, so...
Yeah, so make up your mind.
Yeah, just, remember it or not.
No sympathy for Bender over here.
It's just fervent rage emanating from you. It's glorious.
Clearly, I have some issues to work out about
Yeah, okay.
my own legacy.
I am not even remotely upset about that. Insane in the Mainframe is...
Yeah, it's hard to top.
It's
Yeah.
been on top for a while.
For a long
actually.
time. Yeah, well, it might well turn out to be the best episode of this season.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't call it too early.
Yeah, no,
Call it
I
too
said
early.
might. I said might. I put qualifier in
that.
there.
I'm looking over the horizon. There's a couple of episodes that are interesting.
Ugh.
We also need a crack onto The Voice.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Well, we all have to do the same
So
voice.
what are
Oh
you?
no!
What are you thinking? What are you
well,
thinking?
I wanted to do the poor Australian
Oh, that guy
ends up as a slave.
He's always a
Wow.
slave.
Yeah.
He was a slave in the mines.
Spa 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. He obviously escaped to Spa 5 only to be enslaved again.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's like that joke. Is it in Hunchback? The guy who gets out of the stocks and is like, I'm free finally, and then trips and falls into an equally humiliating torture device.
Am I the only one here that hasn't seen The Hunchback?
Hunchback of
Yep.
Notre Dame.
Yep, I am. Cool. Just checking.
I don't really remember it, so
All good.
It's probably not from that either. It's just a gag that I remember.
Please correct us.
Yes.
We love that.
I love
I thought we could do the Pharaoh's announcer.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to say Elton John.
No.
Billy West can do Elton John.
Yeah, we're not
no,
gonna do
it. Trying to do
He's got a slightly British accent, I feel like.
He's kind of like, yes, hello, well, we now commit the Pharaoh to the damned. The damned good looking.
Damned good looking.
Pharaoh commanded me to make that joke.
It's a goodie.
Yeah.
What else does he say?
He mysteriously died.
Slightly and crude at best. That's all I've got.
Oh, the Pharaoh has mysteriously died.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. I'm
That's
done.
it. We're out.
It's a very creepy voice.
I wanted to
Hello.
do this.
It's like the IT crowd.
Not Robert.
Oh, I went to the theatre once.
I'm not my cheery self at all today. It's slightly breathy.
Is that
the quote unquote goth.
Richmond.
Yeah, Richmond.
Played by
Noel
Fielding.
Noel Fielding.
Yeah, I wonder how much
Actual
Futurama.
vampire.
Is there
Noel
one where he's
Fielding.
just like sitting in the corner of the room?
Yeah,
like
he has
the
his
corner
own
of
little
the ceiling.
He has his own little dark room.
Yeah.
Interesting to see how much Futurama IT crowd crossover we have
feel
in our
like
audience.
there would be a lot.
I hope
so.
I hope so.
I feel like it's not a Venn diagram of audience, it's a circle.
Have you seen the IT crowd? If your answer's no, go and watch it after you've listened to this episode.
Don't worry, they're making an American version.
No.
A second one.
Is it? There's a previous
they
American
tried
version.
They
already.
tried to do a pilot with the original, with the guy from Community.
Joel McHale.
Yeah. And they also had
For listeners at home, I have a
didn't
very
work.
sour face on right
yeah. Moss was still in it though.
now. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't go down. It did one pilot. It was shot for shot the same as the original pilot.
Chris O'Dowd was in the Cloverfield Paradox, which I watched
lovely.
last
Ah.
night, which tells everyone exactly when this was recorded.
No, you've dated us.
I've dated us completely.
Oh, we're not
But it was
timely.
It was interesting to see Chris O'Dowd not in a comedy role.
Grumpy
and I'm sure
Irish
none of this
bastard
is going to
role.
make it into the episode.
That's
It's
right.
completely off topic.
Chris is either going to be like, I'm cutting all this, or
Cutting all this.
fuck it,
Oh,
it's
this
staying
is
in.
comedy gold.
Because we're almost like at the end of the episode and all of this is completely irrelevant.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just to wrap it up in a nice little bow for you, a la Blue's Clues-esque-ish. I don't know where I was going with that.
I have no
but
idea.
It sounded very lovely.
Keep going.
It
I
was
love
nice.
Blue's
It was
Clues.
nice.
Oh, good. Yeah, so next week, you can find us. We'll come back to you with Anthology of Interest 2. Yay! Where we're going to be taking one segment each.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
wow.
Okay, cool.
Good
yeah.
idea.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? But
That was, as you can tell, that was new for us. We
Yeah.
did not know about
that's
that
why I
until
thought
just now.
I'd break the news in this voice.
I
To
feel
make it
so
more palatable.
soothed and like
Yeah, I actually think
excited.
it's good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm getting paid for this podcast. You guys aren't.
Oh.
Yay!
Yeah, now I feel bad.
Yeah, there it is.
There you
There it is.
But look, until that time and any other time before or after, please email babybeardmedia@gmail.com to get in contact with us.
Find us on all the social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at Babybeard Media.
Or chisel your face into a stone tablet and we'll find you in about a million years.
That was so aggressive.
We'll do that.
Do that.
And as
Give us-
usual, 5 stars, subscribe, review. We love you.
A few hieroglyphics.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
And until that time, I have been Sean.
I've been Ellen.
I've been Phil.
Bye.
Bye.
Remember me.
Yeah, please remember us.
Please remember us. This is our legacy.
Yeah. No, not this.
I quit. Not this.
Take it back. Old lady.
Oh, he's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty
We've got
boy.
2 children and we've had sex twice.
I wrote a note down here and I have no idea what the fuck it means. Well, not quotes,
Get
but
your
line.
quotes on.
No,
Get your quotes
I've got a
on,
reference.
honey.
Fuck
Oh,
it.
thank goodness he's gone. What an ugly man.
You need laugh quality.
Bloody Protestants and their bloody... No, fuck, not Protestants, Catholics.
French ticklers.